welcome back to my channel. It's been a while since I've done a Persona, but, Spider-Verse good. That movie, shot me with all the art inspiration I've been lacking these few months into just one day, and it's so good. It's so good. It's very good. It's good. I'm pretty sure this video is not going to have any Spider-Verse spoilers, but also, it's like a month late, so you go watch it. So her name is Serenity Jackson, but she usually goes by Rennie because that's the Nico way. I need to have a character with a long name that goes by a nickname. She's a college student who's going for an illustration degree, and she's really shy and reserved. She hasn't spoken to anyone in her class except the teacher, and she's barely talked to her roommate Polly, and her projects are really bland and uncreative, but her sketchbook is just full of big, elaborate, messy, experimental pieces. But she doesn't think that it's good enough, and she likes to play it safe, so she doesn't apply any of it to her graded work, which is making her fail. So that's also stressing her out. One day she's studying in the library, and she falls asleep, which is where she gets bit by a radioactive spider, which wakes her up, and she kills it, and then realizes that, oh shit, I have a test tomorrow! So she runs back to her dorm, where she promptly passes out again. She wakes up the next morning, and she wipes her eyes, shuts off her alarm, stretches, and pulls her blanket over her head at the same time, which isn't supposed to happen. So she opens her eyes, all 6 of them, and looks down at her hands, all 6 of them, and then begins to panic, which is completely understandable for someone who's in her situation. She runs into the bathroom and sees all of her eyes and arms, and okay, this is not a dream, this is not a nightmare. Fuck. But then her second alarm on her phone goes off, and she checks it and realizes that she's late for a test, and literally she freaks out over being late for this test more than she does over having 6 eyes and 6 arms. So she's just like, I'll deal with all of that later. This is 30% of my grade. And she puts on a hat and a baggy shirt and runs to class and gets an 85%. Then comes back to her dorm and properly freaks out about it. Because, college is expensive. So, she learns to deal with it. Becoming Spider-Man, or Spider Eyes, I guess, is what I'm gonna call her, because she has so many eyes, kind of forces her out of her comfort zone, which is kind of exactly what she needed at that point in her life. Because she has so much potential in her, and so much that she wants to do that's just held back by caution and perfectionism and hesitation. But growing 4 extra eyes and arms and needing to protect the city from a bunch of villains that pop out of nowhere kind of makes you have to change that. So, she cuts bangs for herself to cover her eyes up, which she's never cut her bangs before, so it starts getting her... it starts the slippery slope of doing whatever the fuck she wants. And she, changes up her wardrobe so that she could fit her arms under her clothes without people noticing, so everything gets more baggy and more casual. And during battles, at first she'd stay away and, observe what's happening, and then try to, calculate the best course of action. And by the time she did that, her window of opportunity closed, and she'd have to do it all over again. And I'm thinking that's what gets someone close to her killed, because that's the Spider-Man way, So she starts being impulsive. She starts going on instinct in battles, and yeah, sometimes things don't go to plan, and sometimes she gets hurt. It's not exactly a wholly better way of doing things, but it's what she needed at the time. And it starts leaking into her personal life. Her very thought-out, bland artwork she overthinks on and constantly edits to be safer takes so long to do, and she has a lot of less time to work on school now that she's saving the city. So she starts doing things that are quicker, that are easier for her, like her stuff in her sketchbook. And she can't double think it because it's due in 5 minutes. So it pays off, because she starts getting better grades in that path. And she used to be a straight A student, but she starts making mistakes, and her grades start slipping in other classes. But that shows her that it's fine. it's fine if you make mistakes. It's not the end of the world. It's all part of life. And sometimes things that seem disastrous turn out fine or open doors for other opportunities. Like her roommate Polly comes home early one day and sees Rennie without her arms or eyes covered, and she's like, "Oh shit! Oh my god, it's you! You're Spider Eyes!" And Rennie, her first thought is, "Oh no, she's going to tell the world or use it as blackmail or hate me and move out or something, and I can't pay for all the rent." And Polly's just like, "Oh my god, that's so cool!" And then they get closer and they become best friends, and maybe they date. Maybe they date. Maybe they date. Sure, they'll date. And Polly's going for an engineering degree, and so she makes all of Rennie's cool gadgets. And they train together, and maybe she also becomes a superhero, but more like one of those like Batman or Iron Man, but also a college student, so she's poor. Kind of ones where she doesn't actually have any like physical abilities other than smart. And like makes her own stuff to help her out. So I don't really have everything planned, but it's really cool in my head, and I'm very excited, and I hope that I can do something for it. One thing that I really liked about Spider-Verse was how all the different types of Spider-Man had different abilities from one another, and like different attributes. And same with all Spidersonas I've been seeing. So I wanted to push it a little. So she has extra limbs and eyes. Oh, also, I forgot to mention this, but she also has laser vision. 'Cause I'm the boss. I get to decide, and she has laser vision. She shoots lasers from her eyes when she's angry, and she doesn't learn this until she's playing like a tap-tap game on her phone, and she breaks her combo, and she gets so upset that she accidentally zaps something. But yeah, her design's so fun to play around with. I get to like do a lot of stuff with her arms, and I hate drawing hands, but I love expressing her arms. I'm so inspired by her. I wish I could have so many arms like this. I kind of want to draw her all the time. I love her. I love her so much. She's just a stupid lesbian with 6 arms and 6 eyes and $7 to her name and laser visions. God! She's such an inspiration to us all. She can do so many cartwheels and she loves women. She's perfect! Thank you to my Patreons, Tiny Bastion Art, First Strike, and Geo. Thanks for watching. Love you, boos.